think so. I mean, a lot of Hour of Need is like, it's a premium card for this set. You know, it's one of those.
Name a rare you would take over it. You can't.
There are a few, but there's not that many.
Yeah, nothing comes to mind.
Right. I mean, yeah, you kind of caught me off guard, but
I did. I was trying to.
Yeah, you got me. but Hour of Need is in that upper echelon of cards that I would take first and be really happy about it.
Would you take a Prophetic Flame Speaker over it?
Nah.
Would you take a Hydra Broodmaster over it?
No.
So, that's a pretty impressive card.
Yeah, card's sweet.
Two bomb rares we've seen this weekend from.
It's a little bit of a pet card for me too. I've liked that card from the very get-go and have.
I remember a very heated argument with Randolph E. Bueller.
Yeah, him and I got into it a little bit about the Hour of Need.
Why do people always laugh when I say Randolph E? That's his name. All right, Hubris versus Battlefield Thaumaturge.
You know, I gotta say, I don't hate going Hour of Need into Battlefield Thaumaturge. Like, that's pretty sweet.
But, like, isn't Hubris, like, we just watched a match and we talked about, like, the meat and potatoes.
It doesn't do it for me.
Hubris?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not a huge fan of it?
I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm a fan of it. Like,
and you'd rather risk the upside on Thaumaturge?
Like, I would probably download the concert footage, but wouldn't pay to actually go see it if it was in town. But I like Thaumaturge actually quite a bit. Okay. I think the upside's there, and with Hour of Need, it's really good. So
yeah. And you know, there's aerial formations, and there's Sea God's Revenge.
Come on, think bigger than that.
Sea God's Revenge.
There you go. Now you're talking.
So 2 blue cards. There we see a Chimera. We see some Oreads. We see a Swiftclaw. White is there.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because he's got 2 blue cards in his pile, and there's no good blue cards in this pack. So he's gonna. This is where he's gonna start.
Does he have Linebreaker at the front of his pile here?
He does. I wouldn't have it there. I don't.
All right, there's the Swiftclaw.
I like the Swiftclaw better than the Linebreaker. I wouldn't take Storm Chaser Chimera because I don't really want to be blue red if I can.
He took the Linebreaker.
Okay.
This is 2 people at this draft table that we've seen like go head first, willingly, like eagerly.
I can't believe
into
that.
blue red, which is considered to be the weakest color pairing.
It's one of the weakest. Yes.
What's weaker?
It depends. Like red green can be weak. I mean, they're all fine. That's the cool part about this format.
There you see Hubris. You see another Swiftclaw. You see a Crone Mastiff. You see.
Dude, there's a Feast of Dreams back.
A Satyr Hoplite. Was there a Feast of Dreams?
Yeah, the very last card.
And it's not too late, right? You could still be blue black.
Yeah.
But Hubris is.
It's
fine, man. It'll be okay.
I would take Feast.
It'll be okay, Marshall. Hubris is fine.
It's okay, but I would take Feast. I think Feast is way better than Hubris, and if I get it I'm not going to say late, but if I get it at this stage, I'm like, that's going to perk my ears up. I'm going to be like,
I agree.
Maybe black's a thing. And Hubris to me is sort of replaceable, and it's a little more situational. I just don't love it. Interesting stuff here from Conley. That Linebreaker pick it's kind of thrown me.
A late Warwing Siren.
Yeah, this is about where I want to pick one of those up, and I would pick one up here. What else is going on in this pack here? Nothing much?
Pull from the deep. We're not that deep yet.
Yeah, we're not going that deep.
I mean, we could. It's Conley.
God Hunter Octopus. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there's really not much in this pack.
Formation's kind of an interesting. I mean, you have the Thaumaturge. You could be blue-white, beat down.
I'm not interested.
Okay. Double strike, right?
You can go to the next house. Take your wares elsewhere, sir.
You know, I have a Thaumaturge, though. I'm just looking for, like, Strive cards.
Sure. Yeah, Strive cards are the best, and, of course, you only get them in this pack.
Yeah. And there is a great, it's like Minute of Need.
Yes,
Minute of Need.
I like it. It's also one of the better cards in this pack, too. So
yeah.
A nice pickup here.
Aerial formation.
He's got to be stoked. You're right. Like, picking up a Strive card at this point, after having the Thaumaturge pick 2, really nice.
And so really, at this point, he is just kind of like, he's blue.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he could be anything.
Right. See, this is why I like picking up the Feast, because I like being blue something. He's blue-red or blue-black, and he can figure out where it goes.
Look at that heartbreaking Strength from the Fallen just wandering around the table with nobody to love it.
This pack isn't very good for him, unfortunately. Crystalline Nautilus. I've just gone down and down for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd pick it here, but I wouldn't be too excited about it. There's just nothing else for him.
Yeah.
And, you know, if he wants to be the Crowan line breaker deck, I mean, sure. That's a fine target.
Wow, another aerial formation. A Chimera, you know, I mean, he is blue-red. Like, why isn't he...
You know, I think that I feel like the line breaker pick might have been him dipping his toe in that pool, but not really committing. I think he just takes the formation here. But yeah, like if he really thought he was blue-red, I think you take the first Chimera over the second aerial formation there, especially because he can't get that Chimera back.
There's a card I know you love, Pin to the Earth.
I like that a lot. Yep. Pin to the Earth's a pretty easy pickup
but like,
here.
don't you start thinking about like you got to think about like flying once you're taking Pin to the Earth? Like, don't you have to think about like evasion and how am I getting up and over?
Yeah, I mean he's got 2 aerial formations. Wow, another Pin to the Earth. Yeah, and
also he has this great late game of the Hour of Need, 2 aerial formations.
Yes.
So you could just play this really kind of control-y deck here, blue and something.
Yes. And the thing is,
and then just kill them with whatever assortment of miserable. And we were talking about the Triton Shorestalker before, like just to give you an idea, like how deep that card was. Conley just shipped it,
and
with 4 cards in
Calcano's
the pack.
two to his left here.
Yeah.
And ended up making the main.
It won a match. It's bragging on Twitter somewhere. Whatever the, you know, Planeswalker equivalent of.
Yeah. Of the internet is.
Yeah. The Ethernet.
Do you think they have roaming, plane-to-plane roaming packages?
You'll have to ask Nate Holt.
So, so Conley's blue.
He is.
That's
all
the only
he
thing
really
is
say.
Right now. Yeah, like he's got a couple of red cards.
Well,
but
I gotta tell you, I kind of like would look. Well, the only he had the second hubris would come at the expense of the Battlefield Thaumaturge, which I'm fine with the Thaumaturge. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's good. Yeah. Like
was there a blue card over the line breaker he could have taken, or
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But it was really, to me, I prefer to have.
You could have a speculative Feast of Dreams.
A speculative Feast of Dreams, a couple of decent red cards that I can look into, but I know I'm base blue. So when I open up my next pack, I'm looking for blue cards first, and I can go any direction. Like if he opens a white bomb here, he can move in. If he opens a great black card, he can just move in. Now, I would have preferred to have the Feast, but even without it, he can open up a sweet black card and be like, done. And he doesn't have to worry about it because his red cards are mediocre. They're, you know, he's not giving up anything here.
He cannot be attached to that red at all.
Right. Blue-green is considered the best 2-color pair in the whole block.
And green gets stronger as the packs progress.
They do. Theros green is the best, but he can open up a green card, though there hasn't been much green. He's going to be a little bit wary about moving into green, even if he were to open a green card here.
I want to just, people at home, you see Conley doesn't just, he opens the pack, but he doesn't look at it. He counts it out in front of him. What's going on there?
Yeah, so they're doing a timed draft here for GPs where they're being instructed by a judge over the microphone exactly what to do at every step. You can't look to the sides. You can't wear your hat forward. You got to put a backwards baseball hat on if that's what you got. You have to count out every pack every time. This is all to protect the integrity of the event to the utmost.
Now, let me ask you a question. How badly do you want to just look at this pack right now? And
I'm just dying right now.
Like, come on, Judge! Damn it, Judge! Let me open the pack. You're like trying to pick up a corner and look.
Just let me look at a corner.
You know, you get to one of the cards is flipped over, so as you're cutting him down, you get to look at. You kind of get to see a little bit of one card. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Nobody actually looks at that card.
No. Don't worry,
wink.
judges.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
So Miletus Astronomer, there's our blue card. There's a couple of white cards in there that are,
yeah, but he's got a Nyxborn Triton available, Fall of the Hammer. I mean, I like the Triton here myself.
Yeah, Fall of the Hammer seems very good.
It does, but not good enough.
That was in Ghostblade Eidolon. I thought it was an Eidolon of Countless Battles.
Oh, okay.
But it's Ghostblade Eidolon.
See, but that was like what we were talking about. If he picked up an Eidolon of Countless Battles, boom, in. Now, as this pack sits, I don't think there's anything quite strong enough to pull him away from just taking a Triton and sticking to his guns and being in blue.
And, you know, that Astronomer may very well just come back
Absolutely could wheel. And it'll be quite good in this deck.
There's a handful of really good cards in here.
Yeah, there was a Crowan Phalanx.
Yep.
You know, again, that doesn't quite put it over the top because he's probably not going to have red if he takes it. And as a 3/3 Vigilance for 4, it's not quite good enough, and the Triton's much better. So
yeah, I'm just saying there's enough cards coming back.
Yeah.
So Nyxborn Rollicker, Stratus Walk, Divination, Fearsome Temper.
Some green cards.
Flip some green cards to the front of the pack.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to keep his eye open for his second pack, and there's no really compelling blue cards here. For his second color, there's no really compelling blue cards in this pack. I mean, you can pick up a Divination or a Stratus Walk and be like, sure, this is fine. Again, the problem here, though, is that there's really no compelling cards in other colors to really pull you away.
He takes the Stratus Walk.
Yeah, he just goes for the Stratus Walk. That seems fine to me.
No doubt anticipating all the Battle-Wise hoplites in pack 3.
So let's see if he finally finds something to get him off of blue here. Nope, doesn't look like it.
No, sir.
Now, I know you're a big fan of Oracle's Insight. You take it over Divination generally?
Yes.
I mean, it has much higher upside, a lot more risk, too,
Yes, I do. But, I mean, it was better in Theros Born than it is in the full set because, I mean, you just had more opportunities to get a Wave Crash Triton, which is just pretty much
what you want to be doing.
The Nutter Butter landing spot for an Oracle's Insight.
He did take it.
Yeah.
I like the pick. And still nothing off. I mean, what is he, just mono blue
Pretty
now?
happy to take Divination there, too, though.
All right. I can't quite see the cards because the
Faded
camera's a little low here.
Gets shuffled
I
forward.
don't like that one at all.
There's a Shrike-Harpy.
Yeah, so for me, I would take the Shrike-Harpy here. I think the Shrike-Harpy is the first card that he's seen that he can take. I can't. There we go. All right, yeah, I think those are the only real considerations.
There's an Eternity Center, Sphinx Disciple. Both of those cards are going to be there when this pack comes back to him.
Yeah, there we go. So he takes the Shrike-Harpy, and now he's finally starting to push in a slightly different direction here.
Boy, that Feast of Dreams hurts a little bit.
Don't say that. You're starting to hurt my feelings.
Wow, look at this.
Wow.
Siren of the Fang Coast, a silent song.
Yeah, and I think you just got to go with that after having taken the black card here.
Yeah.
It's a great card. It's way better than Deepwater Hypnotist. There's a Scourge of Skullavail, but I think that on the tiebreaker, after having just taken a Shrike-Harpy, you're pretty happy to pick up a blue-black gold card.
So you kind of want those flyers going over.
Oh, I like Siren of the Silent Song.
You are getting sleepy. He took the Hypnotist.
Why would he take the Hypnotist? All right, I got to go find Conley. Maybe he's just trying to still stay open, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so he did wield the Astronomer
No,
here?
that's, I don't,
this
I don't
is not the
believe
wield
so.
Astronomer, you're right. Wow.
He has a fair amount of enchantments in his deck.
So it looks like Conley's decided that he's not in black yet, and that the tiebreaker wasn't big enough. And for me, it would have been, but for him, it's not.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
me, I
and
think
he
it would
wants
have
to
been
stick to blue. Here's that Asphyxiate now.
Wow.
Come on, Conley, what's wrong with blue-black? There's even a Servant of Timuret here.
I'm telling you, that Stormcaller Keranos is floating. It's floating. He's like, I've always wanted to do it. Conley could do anything.
Take the Asphyxiate.
All right. Oh,
no!
Wow.
Conley Woods! He can't help himself.
He's like, I love to scry.
I mean, he does have a few red cards floating there, and he could have just decided that he's red-blue.
Yeah.
Right? He took a blue card after taking a black card to stay in blue. He's got a couple of red cards floating around. Didn't take that Follow the Hammer early.
Rollicker.
Picks up a Rollicker, and it looks like he might just want to be in that, though. Now he's got to be thinking about those storm chasers.
We know that there are 2 blue-red drafters at this table. So there's your Astronomer that did come back.
That's the wheel.
By the way, the Chrome Phalanx also came back.
That's ridiculous. I mean, it does really need to be in red-white to be maximized.
And you don't really decide that you want to be red-white until pack 3 sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that card would make me decide, but... All right, nothing for him here. Thunderous Might's not a real thing.
Certainly not playable in his deck.
No,
with
he's got all blue.
2 red permanents.
Yeah.
Eye Gouge.
Eye Gouge kills his Deepwater Hypnotist, so might as well take it.
There's the Sphinx's Disciple. It came around.
All right, so we're in the dregs here.
Sure. Forsaken Drifters.
This has been interesting. My deck would have been blue-black. Conley looks like he's leaning it over towards red-blue, though. Let's see if he gets paid off in this last pack.
Yeah, there were a couple of, but we know there's 2 red-blue drafters at this table. That's he can't know that, right?
No. Well,
he has
might.
maybe a suspicion.
What about those 2 Storm Chaser Chimeras?
They didn't come back.
Yeah, those got sent off into the ether and did not return.
But sometimes you'll rationalize. You'll be like, maybe someone deed them from me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You sort of like personalize other people's drafts somewhat irrationally.
It's true.
Very irrationally.
That can happen. So
I mean,
obviously
still, look at
Conley's
this, look at
blues.
just-
That's the good news.
He could still just be green in
He
pack
really
3.
could.
He could just take like a Nessian Courser and just go to town.
Maybe an asp.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I think big, you know.
yeah.
You're right, though.
Everyone likes to come to DC and get a little asp.
Wow. You are receiving no comment from me on that. I'm sure you'll receive comment from others. Now, you know, to defend Conley, though, about, you know, to look at the other side of the coin, the Stormcaller of Keranos is really good.
Yeah.
That card's super powerful.
I mean, in theory, no one's ever drafted a red-blue deck before.
I looked at the card.
Oh, did you?
It was a bronze table. Now I can't help myself. I'm sure Conley didn't, though. He was more interested in his orange juice. All right, so let's see.
Fair play.
Again, great blue cards here in Theros.
Yes.
So he can certainly bolster his blue.
And keep in mind, card like Sea God's Revenge, you know, is particularly good for him with his Battlefield Thaumaturge.
Oh, yeah, great.
Boy, look at this mnemonic wall. What is going on?
Right,
mnemonic wall to the front.
But he's also got the combo. Flamespeaker Adept with Stormcaller of Keranos is dumb.
Yes.
Real dumb.
Yes, it is.
And he really looks reluctant to pass it, even though I think in a vacuum, Vaporkin is a better card. And I think he thinks that, too.
I mean,
Not
he
the
also
wall.
just keeps the mnemonic wall shuffled to the front.
Conley Woods, what is that
Conley
mnemonic wall
Woods just
doing
does
there?
not do the same thing everyone else does.
So
there we go,
yeah,
Vaporkin.
I was going to say, I like the Vaporkin, and I'm going to hope that I get that Flamespeaker
he was
Adept
like,
back.
he was like, can I risk this mnemonic wall? Wow.
That is what he was thinking.
There's
this
his
pack
ass.
is stacked and nothing for Conley.
Yeah. Hopeful Eidolon,
Super brutal.
Phalanx Leader, God's Willing, and
Wow.
Evangel of Heliod to wheel around the table.
There's a Nessian Asp
There's a
in
Nessian
this
Asp,
pack, too.
which, by the way, could still very well just take it.
Yeah, he actually could.
You know, he
He's
could
pulled
just be
Phalanx
green.
Leader to the front. He takes it. I mean, it's a little late to move into white, I'd think, but there really wasn't anything there for him. He needed to take something.
Wild. Like I feel like green is going to still be the pack that's going to run the deepest for you.
Mm-hmm.
The color that's going to run the deepest for you in this pack, yeah. There's a Griptide. Wow, a Shipwreck Singer, another Vaporkin.
Wow.
What do you like here, Griptide?
First off, I'm gonna not mention the Shipwreck Singer, and I'm gonna and I'm just gonna focus
You're
on
not
the
gonna-
grip. No, I'm not saying it. I don't want to be that guy. But
The
Griptide.
sliding door universe where this deck is inducted into the Blue-Black Hall of Fame along with your double Psychotog deck from last night.
Yes, that. He
Griptide.
took Griptide, right?
Yeah.
That seems like totally the right pick here. By the way, it wasn't a double Psychotog deck. It was a quadruple Manowar deck.
Well,
It's a little
yes.
different.
I thought it was a quadruple expunge deck.
It may have been all three of those things. Wingsteed Rider.
Oh,
he
there's a
immediately
Wave Clash
pulls-
Triton.
Yeah, you got to go with the Triton here, right?
Yeah. I mean, Conley has an unnatural love for Stymied Hopes.
does
But remember, he
indeed.
did just dip into white, so he's looking at that Wingsteed Rider. But
I just feel like when you have a comparable blue card, which Triton is, you just got to stick with blue here.
okay, good. Yep, that's what he does. Good Conley wins out. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I think that
There's
we
like
might
a-
be sitting in the devil shoulder seat
Yeah,
here, right?
yeah.
Like that's where the camera's set up. So he's going to take Horizon Scholar, but for some reason he pulls Scholar of Athreos to the front just
He's
to
like,
get a look.
Yeah, I've always wondered what the flavor text on this says.
I mean, I love that card, so I don't blame him. but-
There's another Scholar of Athreos.
I think it's time to breach some hippocamps here.
yeah, I mean-
don't mention it. Don't say it. Just ignore it. There's no sip of hemlock in this pack.
There's no sip of hemlock
No.
going to some green-red player's sideboard.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the Staunch Hearted Warriors. Like, I feel like there was an opportunity for blue-green.
I think so,
even
too.
even as late as the second pick of this pack with that Nessie and Asp. I like it better than the Phalanx Leader. But, you know.
All right, so now he's just rubbing it in my face.
He took the sip of Hemlock. Hey, Marshall, what?
I feel like I want a sip right now, yeah.
Look at that Shipwreck Singer.
It's laughing at him. You know, it's not too late, Conley.
It might actually be too late, but
I don't know. Take it. Take the Shipwreck
I mean,
Singer.
you don't take
There's
the
no
Battle-Wise Valor here?
No. I don't think he has enough white playables, and he's going to take.
He takes the Ordeal of Erebos over Shipwreck Singer.
He's crazy.
We've definitely seen some very unorthodox drafting here. Psychic Intrusion.
Looks like he's finally going to get back on the blue-black plan.
Scourge Mark.
I like Scourge Mark.
We took the Psychic Intrusion?
Sure. I mean,
he's
that's
counting
the
on
pick
that
here.
because he's going to be like Mnemonic Wall.
Is he going to get one back? Did he end up getting one yet? There it is. Of course he is. Conley Woods, everybody. Round of applause for this guy.
He's got one more coming to him.
Oh.
Okay. All right, so we're going to, it sounds like we're about ready to go to a feature match. You can see he's just going to be picking up a couple cards here as he winds down the pack. Looks like maybe.
I don't know what color
I don't know.
this
He's
is.
blue and something. We have to go figure out what his draft ended up being. By the way, there's another Mnemonic Wall, but he's going to take Dissolve over it. Let's